For a couple of years by 1907, the region of tall trees in the territory of West Elizabeth served as the hunting ground for a group of murderers, sadists, and everything evil. This awful faction was notorious not just for robbing people and killing them, but for torturing them endlessly, seeming masters of inflicting intense agony on their victims before they died. They did this through several means, such as scalping, burning, and skinning, and by the end the only thing that makes sense about their senseless violence is the fact that they wanted to do it. I am, of course, talking about the Skinner brothers. While riding across the Great Plains in the general direction of the Tall Trees region, you may come across a wagon being pulled by one injured horse. Sat atop the wagon is a dead man. The cause of death is obviously the arrows protruding from his lifeless corpse. Even the horse that's still here has arrows sticking out of it. The whereabouts of the second horse required to pull this wagon is unknown. It would appear as if this man was ambushed by a group of archers. Considering the state of his body, it would appear as if he died very recently, meaning his killers aren't likely that far away. My best guess would be the Tall Trees region where the wagon came from. While riding through the region of tall trees, you may hear noises in the distance that compel you to investigate. Upon closer inspection, you will find lots of blood and dead people. A short trail will lead you to a camp where you may in fact find a survivor, at least of the temporary sense.
I can't hardly see. Oh, Jesus. Hey. Get out of here, mister. Skinner's. They might be close. They came in the night like jackals from hell. Screams! Something awful.
It's all right. You're... all right. They're all gone. Just go to sleep now.
Oh. You there? You there? I'm coming.
With his final breath, he tells us the identity of his killers, the Skinners. You only need to eyeball the rest of the camp to understand that this was an absolute massacre. It's very obvious that the Skinners kill for the sake of killing, but not just do the Skinners kill anyone, they also try to kill anything. If you need evidence to back up that statement, check the horse from before, and if that's not enough, maybe the missing horse is. Considering the similarities in this scene and the cart from before, I'm very certain that the Skinners were responsible for both atrocities. Not too far from this spot, we can make yet another gruesome discovery. If we head a little distance east of that camp, we will find a mass grave. Inside the mass grave are the bodies of people wearing matching uniforms. A sports uniform. There is evidence of foul play, such as restraints on some and the fact that they're all dead together. Also, there's a beam made out of some of their dismembered body parts. In the Blackwater Ledger issue number 69, we find out that this is in fact the missing Blackwater Athletics team. How strange that they vanished in the Tall Trees region. Though foul play is certainly at work here, there are no real hallmarks of the Skinner brothers, aside from the dismembered limbs used to make the letter B. Even still, it doesn't seem gruesome enough to be Skinner work, so maybe you can tell me what you think about that. Now, if you think the Tall Trees region is dangerous during the day, imagine what it's like at night. If you set up camp in the region, you may get this encounter.
Hair, boy.
Oh, you got lucky there. But next time you come around these parts, you lose your top and more than that besides.
Next time I won't let myself get bushwhacked.
Mock me, boy. You weren't so brave a minute ago.
Boo!
It's very unusual for the Skinners to leave us alive by the looks of things, but the message is quite clear. Move along. However, travelling the region at night is also ill-advised, as this is when you're most likely to encounter an ambush.
Light the fires! We go!
This is likely how they get the majority of their victims, by ambushing them along the road. Fortunately, their ambush on us was not successful, and whatever twisted plans they had for us died with them, or at least some of them. There are more Skinners than just the handful that attacked us. But it's not just us that they'll attack, we can actually find them in the process of attacking others.
Well, hey there! Taking care of something private here. Why don't you just head the other way?
I do believe you can save these campers, however I needed to reload after one shot so I failed. Even if you do save them, they just thank you and move along. But this is just another example of local Skinner Brothers activity. At the very least, it doesn't appear as if their victims here suffered too much. Unfortunately, how they won't matter to them now, they're dead. Back in the direction of Aurora Basin, across the lake from where we found that massacre site, you may notice a corpse marker on your map. This location is actually a Skinner Brothers camp. Happy hunting.
Bastards.
This place gives you a little bit of an insight into the depraved minds of these killers. Not only do they torture, disfigure, cripple and murder people, they live among the remains of their victims quite happily. With some of them it appears as if the torture lasted over a few days, so it obviously makes sense that they'd keep prisoners in their camps, but even after they're dead they keep their bodies around. Maybe there's something more cannibalistic going on here, maybe there's not. I guess we'll just have to keep investigating. No matter what we think at this point, there's no debating that something seriously messed up is going on here, but I doubt even this camp contained the last of the Skinner brothers. There will be more out there for sure. Yes, in the main story of Red Dead Redemption 2, John Marston, Charles Smith and Uncle run into the Skinner brothers on a number of occasions. In the mission titled The Toolbox, John and Charles are out getting tools to build the house on Beecher's Hope. Charles Smith is very concerned about the Skinner brothers' activities and contracts some security to help protect the cargo. One of these security guards is a man named Willard Wayne, who expresses that he's a family man. During this mission, the Skinner brothers ambushed the convoy and kill Willard Wayne without a second's thought. The convoy, on the other hand, was a success, however Mr. Wayne's family will not be able to see it that way. The second story encounter we have with them is called Uncle's Bad Day, in which Uncle is abducted by the Skinners and John and Charles go to get him back. In this mission, we get to see a couple of examples of the Skinners' cruelty.
Hold up. You hear that? Yeah. Wagon. There. Dragon. Is it Uncle? Poor bastard.
Here we can see this poor man is visibly injured being dragged behind a cart. The ordeal caused him to expire. And then there's of course what they did to Uncle himself. Fortunately we got there in time, however by the time that we do get to rescue Uncle, he's already halfway through being slow cooked. After rescuing Uncle, this is what Charles has to say about it.
Burns don't always heal easy.
Sure, but I think this will be fine. As long as it don't get infected. It's much better than I feared.
Hear that, old man? This could have been worse.
He's pretty weak.
Yeah, I bet. Stay with us, you old bastard.
Charles feared that it could have been worse. A lot worse. He also has this to say just after.
He'll be fine.
You think they'll be back?
Maybe, but I doubt it. We must have killed most of them. This is your land.
Was it theirs once?
I don't think so. I met a fella said the Skinners rode down about 2 years ago. They're just angry men on a rampage, and we got in their way.
Sort of like we used to be?
Yeah, exactly like we used to be.
Charles describes them as angry men on a rampage, but most importantly suggests that we probably killed the majority of them in that little rescue attempt. So maybe it's come time that we focused on freeing Tall Trees from the Skinner brothers, or at least their leaders and more influential members, which is why for the moment we must leave Tall Trees and head to Blackwater. Here we will find wanted posters for members of the Skinner brothers gang. First up, Elias Green, wanted dead or alive. His poster reads as follows. Captured dead or alive, he is wanted on warrant for murder and mutilation of 6 settlers near Manzanita Post. He is a member of the Skinner Brothers gang and is considered extremely dangerous. Last seen in the Great Plains area, Green is stocky and wears animal skins, bear hats and buckskin shirts. And here's what Chief Dunbar has to say about him.
Just when you thought this country had been civilized, you hear what they done up near tall trees? Might be where to look for him, if you can stomach it. I don't think you'll be bringing him in alive, but sure as hell I'd love to spit in his eye before he hung.
The mountain country's full of Skinner brothers. You tell me why this one, Elias Green's got a warrant on him.
I'd send you after every last one of them jackals if I could. Reason this one's got his picture up is the mayor signed off on it. That's that.
What did he do?
He perpetrated or was one of the perpetrators of a massacre. Party of 6. Killed and then some. We have his name, we have his likeness. You have his warrant.
I do. I'll see about him, sir. I'll see what I can do then.
We'll take him however you find him, alive or dead. Give him hell.
Now we're sent to hunt down Elias Green, a notoriously dangerous member of the Skinner Brothers. Of course, Green is located, you guessed it, in the Tall Trees region. Once at the search area, we will find a smaller search area in which there is an abandoned Skinner camp, complete with corpses and all. There's no real time to gawk at their horrors, because we have to kill them. We will find them attacking a wagon along the road.
Please, please let me go.
Oh, what do you think? Shall we let him go?
I say we kill him. Please, please.
Oh, no, he's a nice kid. Let him go.
Damn it, Elias.
Let him go, but take his hair first.
No, no.
Unfortunately, I seem to have killed the bounty, but again I was just too late to save this gent. So now it's time to take the corpse of Mr. Green back to Blackwater.
Here's that Skinner brother. What's left of him. Elias Green.
Well, I'll be. Didn't think I'd see this one alive or dead. Throw him back out with the rest of the trash, will you? That man weren't worth spitting, but here's what we're paying for him.
It was a nasty business up there. I'll take it.
You don't go after these bounties, I'm gonna have to. There's another poster gonna be up right quick. Come back for it.
I don't feel much like defying this police chief, he has very frightening cheekbones. Now we must wait a few days and come back, there may be a bounty in between, and so you'll have to do the waiting game again after completing that bounty, and then you can come back and pick up another wanted poster to do with the Skinner brothers.
How you do? I hope you're looking for another bounty, cause we're after that outlaw on the wall there.
Thanks, Chief.
Otis Skinner. One of the leaders of the Skinner brothers and their gang, he is wanted for murder and is suspect in several others carried out by the group. These men are desperate and have been causing mayhem throughout the state. Age believed to be 48 years, bushy beard with grey, blue eyes, is quick in his movements, last seen in the Tall Trees region. His bounty is not quite as high as that of Elias Green, in fact it's $15 less.
It said they took the pelt off a pelt hunter southwest of Manzanita Post.
Well, I shall try and hold on to mine.
Very droll. In all my years of policing, I haven't encountered men such as those. Makes me wish I'd retired sometime heretofore, if I'm frank. Well, good luck and Godspeed.
Otis Skinner. I'm assuming he's the head of this gang.
They're the Skinner brothers. The clue's in the name, son. The gang doesn't have a head, except, and I'm sorry to be gruesome, except if you count the ones they cut off.
Well, tell me about him then.
I don't know if he's a savage, a mountain man, or something else. I just know he's made a fair old mess out of everyone's gone after him, and it don't look like he's planning on stopping.
That may not be his plan to make. I'll see what I can do then.
The ink's dry on that one. Kill him if you got to.
Hello there.
We will find Otis Skinner just a little distance southwest of Manzanita Post. Here you will find yet another Skinner camp. I'm not quite sure what they're on about, but it's time for them all to die.
You lose your eyes today.
You know how much you're gonna make me, Mr. Skinner?
It won't be worth what I'm gonna do to you.
This time we've managed to capture our target alive. Up on Trev you go, son. Yes, I named my horse Trev. I'm sorry about that one. Before we turn Otis Skinner in, why don't we take a look at the camp? I pity whoever this guy is because his rotting dead head is now being used as a candle holder. There's an empty bottle of Old Blood Eyes Kentucky bourbon that you can inspect here, and of course dismembered human remains in the cart behind it, as well as some shackles, and on the wheel there's a decapitated head. Back into the camp a short distance and you may just see the worst that Charles was on about. This man has been completely gutted, disemboweled, decapitated. I don't even want to begin to imagine the pain that this man went through. There are also some very old skulls, which implies that the Skinner brothers have been active for quite some time, though not necessarily in this area, as we know that they only came down 2 years prior to 1907. I forgot I tied this random man up. Well, he's useless, so goodbye. Otis Skinner seems to hold no sadness for the death of his comrades. Right, let's get him back to Blackwater. On the ride back, we will be attacked by some more of the Skinner brothers trying to rescue their leader or founder or whatever this Otis character happens to be.
I hope that wasn't your only rescue party.
Pride cometh before the fall, and you're going to fall, all right.
Oh, hush now.
Of course, his rescue party was unsuccessful, and we successfully delivered Otis Skinner alive to the Blackwater Police Department.
Look out! I got Otis Skinner here for you.
God damn, get him in the cell already.
Ain't this a charming little jailhouse? I'll be comfortable enough. Ah!
God damn, God damn. I got your bounty money here.
Honest work for honest pay.
You should know there has been a cessation in the issuance of bounties in Blackwater. Apparently we have the budget to build a city, but not to protect one.
So this is the final bounty that you can take from Blackwater.
How many boys you lost? It wear on you, police chief? You get to thinking there's no good left in the world? Oh.
I shall not engage with you, Mr. Skinner.
In a few days we'll get to witness the hanging of Otis Skinner at this very gallows right outside the police station.
Otis Skinner, so named. A proud member of the despicable Skinner gang. He's terrorized and murdered poor travelers across the whole state. His heinous and callous actions have scarred this community. Your time is at an end, Otis, and not a minute too soon. It's time for you to hang. This is a proud day for Blackwater. We can all sleep a little bit safer tonight. We won't rest until every last one of them is gone.
By 1911, the Skinner brothers had moved on. Whether they were caught and stopped, or if they'd left of their own accord and gone to terrorise somewhere else, has never been elaborated on. All we know is their evil no longer plagued the Tall Trees region. That being said, the damage done here by the Skinner brothers will likely be felt forever. And even after the blood's gone from the soil, that does not immunise the region from future terrors. But at least the dark chapter of the Skinner brothers is over for the locals of Tall Trees. Thus concluding today's video, so thank you all for watching, I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to go ahead and leave a like, subscribe, share the channel with your friends and all that wonderful stuff, that'll be massively appreciated. And I will see you all very soon with another video at some point.